And of course, too, you never want to see Mike Evans, and I love Mike Evans, like I was saying before. I think he's first round Hall of Famer, and Chris Godwin, unfortunately, too. BC, I'm sure you can get into a little bit more into it. Since big our Bucks guy over here, but if I remember right, Chris Godwin is on his last year of his contract with the Bucks. Correct? He's going into free agency, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is the final year of his contract, and it's a gut punch. It really is, because I know that, a lot of people were thinking he's going to leave in free agency. A lot of people thought Mike Evans was going to leave in free agency, and he didn't. Like this squad, this team, like this entire organization, they love playing together, and they really care about each other. And
yeah.
Chris Godwin, outside of football, like incredible human being, incredible figure in the Tampa Bay community. And so, like, when I kid you not, like working the game, you literally felt the collective air just get sucked out of the entire stadium, seeing him on the ground. Like, and you could hear him screaming as well, like when he got hurt. And it's just everybody was so hurt, uncomfortable with it. And it sucks because he's such a great player. And yes, obviously I'm a fan of the team. I want to see them win, but it's just, he's such a great dude. He was having a career season, putting up some of the best numbers of his career. He was going to get paid. He was going to make that money. And I know how Jason Light is. I know how that organization is. They wanted him. They wanted to pay him and have him come back. And now to see his season cut short, and now potentially him losing out on all that money that he could potentially make, it's heartbreaking. And
it is.
I know that some people look at the athletes and like, well, they make all this money and they're, going to get the best treatment, this and that. It's like, they do make money, yes, but they also miss out on a lot too when they get hurt. And these guys are still having to deal with all that mental strain and anguish of, I'm having a career year and now it's just going all down the drain. So it's one of those things I hate it happening. And also I'm wondering, why is he in there with a minute left in the game? I get it. We were down 10, but everyone I knew was calling that game about halfway through the fourth quarter. Those guys should not have been there. Baker shouldn't have been in there taking shots from the pass rush. Otten shouldn't have been taking shots over the middle of the field like he's Gronkowski. Like, they should have pulled a lot of their stars. Mike Evans, even. I want to win. I'm competitive as anybody out there. But if Mike Evans is still struggling with his hamstring, and he was struggling after that touchdown, like you saw him, like I saw him like walking off, like he did not look 100%. He should have been yanked immediately. And then again, the same thing with Godwin in that fourth quarter. Why is he still in this game? It doesn't make a lot of sense. And if, I hate to be the doom and gloom, like put it on the head coach guy, but that does kind of fall on the head coach why you kept him in. And Bowles said that, it was a 10-point game. We want to be competitive. He was more, I noticed this is something that kind of bothers me. He was more competitive. He was doing more to win a game, a 10-point game with 1 minute left in the fourth quarter with no timeouts, than he was, this is a regular season game, than he was to win a playoff game that you were down by 8 and had 3 timeouts left. Why are you giving that game away, but then this one you're doing everything you can to win? It blows my mind.
Dude, and I want to point out the fact to the regular sports fans out there that like to contradict and give all these players crap on why they hold out and why they wait for their contracts extensions, why they wait for the big time deals and don't go out there and play, and just go out there and play the game because you just play sports and you get paid. This is why, folks. Situations like this is why players hold out and they want to get paid and have that security blanket. Because like he just mentioned, Godwin has a chance to earn the big bucks, but now he has a dislocated ankle. And I'm telling you, if you guys did not see that, his ankle was facing the other way. His foot was the other way. So this guy is going to have surgery for sure. A minor surgery, but he's going to have surgery.
Yeah, he had surgery
now
today.
Exactly. So now he will not get that contract, and now he has to pray to the gods that he gets a contract from the Bucks just because they feel entitled to give him that contract, because they don't have to. They don't have to. But just because they feel entitled that they give him the contract, because now he doesn't have the years on his contract left. Now he's going to be a free agent. Now he doesn't have money, and now he has a messed up ankle that he's probably never going to be the same again. And it's because he didn't have the whole contract set up. He didn't hold out for the extension, because he's a man for the team. He's a man for the people, like BC has mentioned. And now look at him. So this
Yeah.
is why, folks. This is why the players hold out for their contract extensions.
And
Learn
I will
something.
say as well, I think that, like knowing Light, knowing Spytek, the entire front office with this team, they are going to take care of him because just being around this team for as long as I have, just seeing how these guys operate, they do things a little bit differently. They didn't have to sign Mike Evans to the deal they did a couple years ago, or not a couple years ago, like before the start of the season. He was like 31, 32 years old, but they know what he means to this team and the city, and they want to honor that as best they can. I'm not saying they're going to give Chris Godwin $30 million a year after injuring himself. They're not going to do that, but they're still going to try to give him
Maybe
the
10.
most that they can. Yeah, I think they might even go up a little higher than that because they know his potential. They know what he can do in this offense. And honestly, I'm hoping and praying that he can. It's a long shot, but I would love, honestly, and this situation reminds me a little bit of when Vita Vea went down with injury during the Super Bowl season. I'm not saying we're winning the Super Bowl, but I'm hoping, just for his sake, that he can come back not too soon. If it's going to be too soon, I'd rather him just stay and heal up. But if he is healing well and he's progressing well and things are going great, I would love to see him come back maybe before the end of the season if we're in the playoffs. Go there, tear it up in the postseason. Not literally, like, but just like go on a absolute heater in the
Bad choice of
postseason.
words right there.
Yeah,
Bad choice
exactly.
of words.
All right. I want to see him go on an absolute run, like go on an absolute heater in the
Oh yeah,
playoffs.
we want to see him run. All right.
Yeah. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to stay positive, but I want to see him put up numbers though in a short amount of time, and I want to see him just absolutely prove everybody wrong because that man deserves it. Like I love Chris Godwin. Him and Mike Evans, they need to be Bucks for life. I don't want to see him in any other uniform.
Well, wasn't this back-to-back years for Chris Godwin? Didn't he tear something last year too?
No, last year. No, I want to say it was a couple years ago that he
Or was that
had
the
the
year
injury.
before? Because I know last year they had
That
him.
was a
They had him
shoulder
in the wrong
injury.
position. Really, he's a natural in the slot, but I think they
Oh
had him
no,
out
yeah.
wide,
He was
and he kind of
in
got forgotten about. But I thought that was also a year he got injured as well. I knew he got injured in the
no.
last 2 years at least.
It was two. It was like 2 or 3 years. I know. I think it was
He
like
didn't play the
2021.
first half of the season, I think.
Yeah, he was still it was 2022 he got hurt, and
It was like an
then
ACL or something, though, wasn't it?
it might have been something with his knee or one of the ligaments, but I know that he was injured 2022 towards the end, and then he sat out a little bit of 23. People were thinking he kind of rushed back a little bit. And that's another thing. Like, you have to, as a coach, as a staff, like, you have to know, okay, we got Baltimore coming in. Who are we playing the next 4 weeks? Baltimore, Atlanta, Kansas City on the road, and then San Fran at home. Of all those games, what is the most important game of that stretch for you to win? Atlanta, because you already choked away a game to them earlier this year. You're trying to at least get back to the playoffs. It starts by winning your division. If you want to do that, you have to beat Atlanta. So you need everybody healthy for that game. So, and looking at Baltimore, yes, this is the first game back after Milton. It's a big bringing the community together kind of moment. But if you lose to Baltimore, is it really that big of a deal? Does it really set you back that far? And Atlanta lost this week. So it's like,
Right.
if you lose to Baltimore, does it really set you back that far? Now, not only did you lose to Baltimore, but now you're down your two best receivers going up against probably the chance at the division. I would rather lose this. I'd rather fold this game to Baltimore, focus on winning Atlanta. Kansas City on the road, I'd be okay with, again, I'm competitive, but it's like if I had to pick a game to lose, it's going to be that one. Tough environment, best team in the league, fine. And then come back at home and face San Francisco as banged up as they are now. You're 2-2 during the toughest stretch of the season. Like it's just there has to be some foresight there with that, and it's just infuriating to see that your coaching staff, again, in a regular season game, you're down by 10. Less than a minute left. You got your starters in, no timeouts left. But then in a playoff game against Detroit with a shot to go to the NFC Championship game by 8 points with all your timeouts, you just quit. What are we doing?